Hi, good evening, Instagram. Happy Sunday. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I am Dr. Adeola Adeyemi. I'm the founder of Talk Mental Health. Thank you for joining my live. Please tell me your name and where you're joining from. Thank you for joining my live. I'm Dr. Adeola. I'm a psychiatrist, a mental fitness coach. I'm the founder of Talk Mental Health. Please let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. How to silence your inner critics. That's what we'll be talking about today. How to silence. Tell me your name and where you're joining from. Tell me your name and where you're joining from. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Your name and where you're joining from. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Hi, Lola from Maryland, USA. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Lola. Nice to meet you. I want to assume that you can hear me. That was why you were able to respond or answer to my question. I just wanted to make sure that I am loud, I am clear, you can hear me, you can see me. If you can confirm that, then we can go ahead with today's topic. So I'm Dr. Adeola, like I said. If you don't know me, I'm Dr. Adeola. If you're not following me, go follow me right away. So I'm a mental fitness coach. I'm the founder of Talk Mental Health. I'm also a psychiatrist. I live in the United Kingdom. Thank you, Lola, for confirming. I live in the United Kingdom, and I am very passionate about helping people become better persons. I come out to the space to share practical tips or skills that would help improve your mental health, because I believe that you don't have to break down before you take care of your mental health. You have to be proactive about protecting your mental health. So I break it down into practicable skills, actionable steps, things that you can do to help yourself become better. All right. So hi, Rachel from Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So today I'm just going to go straight into today's topic. I realize that oftentimes we are very focused on what people do to us. So we worry about what people say to us, how people, talk about us, how they criticize us, and that affects our emotions. I'm a psychiatrist, so I see a lot of people that struggle with that. So they come to say somebody has said this, or this person does not like me, and they always complain. They have complaints about their external environment, but they fail to pay attention to what they are saying to themselves. And that's why it is important for me to come on live to share how you can silence your inner critic, because so many people don't even know that there's a still small voice in their head that speaks to them. Do you agree? Do you believe? Do you agree with what I've just said? So there's always something that says things to you, whether you hear it or not. You have a still small voice in your mind, in your head, that tells you things, and that affects how you live your life. Thank you so much, Lola, because the way you think would affect the way you feel, and the way you feel would affect how you behave, what steps you take, whether it is you want to achieve something. For instance, today is Sunday, and Monday is another day, is the beginning of another week. So how you would achieve all your goals this week the more you think about positive things, the more positive things you can achieve this week. So what would determine how successful you are this week is how much of what your thinking pattern, how much of it you can think. I don't know if that makes sense. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a silent voice. There is an inner voice that we've all got. And if we don't pay attention to that inner voice, what it says, what it keeps saying to us, we may always think that people around us are the one doing us, because we always say, oh, it's our village people, they're after us. But the highest critics that you can ever have is yourself. The greatest critic you can ever have is yourself. So if you don't accept what anyone says, what you say to yourself, whatever it is that anyone says about you will have no effect on you. But if you entertain those negative thinking patterns, if you entertain those inner critics, what they say to you, what that mind, that still small voice says to you, if you accept it, if you give it room, if you give it space, trust me, whatever everyone does outside will definitely have a lot of impact on you. So my point is that the first step towards freedom from critical comment, negative comment, or negative thought or negative behavior, whatever it is, for you to be able to achieve your, become the highest version of yourself and achieve all your dreams in life, the first step is to check within yourself. What am I saying to myself? What exactly am I saying to myself? Honestly, and I just thought that I needed to bring this to the fore. Some of us are naturally we're wired, we have different personalities, and we're wired to overanalyze and think through things. All right. So that's some personality trait. Like people that are melancholy, they are likely to overthink things. Whereas there are some people that are just sanguine in nature, and they are just the life of the party. They don't have that kind of deep thinking. And for them, life goes on, whether it's, they're always positive, you get what I mean. So my point is, sometimes it may not necessarily be your fault why these things happen to you, why you have those why you criticize yourself a lot, why you keep thinking about negative things, why you feel like you're not good enough, and all of those negative things you keep saying to yourself. It may not necessarily be your fault, but it is your responsibility to take charge of your life. You can't keep making excuses to say, oh, this is who I am. I'm a male, and that's how I am created. That's how God made me. And you fold your hands and do nothing about it. It's not going to work. Because whether you fold your hands and do nothing, or you sit down and wait till tomorrow, the truth is that the result that you will get, you are the person that would have to make that change. So it doesn't matter whether it is the fault of who raised you, it is the fault of the society. You are responsible for the changes you create. How to silence your inner critics. It is high time that we stop thinking that every other person are at fault. They are the one responsible for where we are at now. It is high time that you started thinking and reflecting on how can I move forward from where I am. Does this make sense? Is this making sense? I just have to come with this explanation as to why I came about this topic, how to silence your inner critics. And this is very important because I believe in the power of mindset. I always say this, that you can never rise above the level of your mindset. You can never rise above the level of your mindset. So if your mindset is not in alignment with your dreams and goals, there's no way you will achieve it. The Bible has said it, that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So whatever it is you think is who you will become. Whoever you are today is as a result of the thinking patterns you had years back, 5 years back, 10 years back. So whatever it is you're thinking about and ruminating on today, just know that in the nearest future, that's exactly who you're going to be. Because God, in his infinite mercy and in his awesomeness and how powerful it is, can't even force his awesomeness into your life. God has given you the power to choose. You have the right to choose. He has placed life and death in front of you. He has placed positive and negative in front of you. He has placed good and bad in front of you. It is your responsibility to make the right choice. And honestly, whilst everything can be supernatural, transformation of your mind is not supernatural. It is a work that you have to do. And that is exactly why I thought I needed to talk about how to silence your inner critics. Because I know that you need that right mindset to be able to become the highest version of yourself. All right? So as a psychiatrist, I know I treat people with, depression, anxiety, schizophrenia. Think of all mental illnesses. I treat all those people that have got those illnesses. But as a mental fitness coach, I come on here to teach you practical skills that will keep you on top of your mental health. Because I know that mental health has to be top notch, has to be okay, has to be perfect, or maybe not necessarily perfect, has to be good enough for you to thrive in all areas of your life, be it your personal life, be it your career, be it your business, be it in your relationship, whatever it is you want to do. Without a good mental health, there's no way you will thrive. It's not that I'm cursing or something. It's just the truth. Because I know that mental health has to do with you being able to reason, you've been able to think, you've been able to rest well, you've been able to sleep and enjoy your sleep, you've been able to problem solve and do all amazing stuff. Even if you're creative, being able to think of positive ways of moving ahead in whatever it is you're doing. You need this brain. And that's why you need Dr. Adeola. So if you're not following Dr. Adeola, you are wrong. You should follow me. So if you're just joining, welcome. We're discussing on how to silence your inner critics. Okay? So if you are here, I just want you to know that you are enough just as you are. You are enough just as you are. So if you are here and you can hear me, I need you to type in the comments, I am enough just as I am. Type in the comments if you can hear me, I am enough just as I am. I am enough just as I am. Type in the comments. I need to see your comments, guys. I want to know that you are with me and you're following me. I am enough just as I am. You are enough just as you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You are amazing. You are exceptional. You are phenomenal. All right? So these are words that you need to tell yourself from time to time. Some of these words will not come naturally, but you have to stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself every day how amazing you are. Because yes, we are exposed to a lot of negative things happening out there, but you have to be able to take charge of what you think about, of what you hear, of what you say to yourself. Sometimes you have to take it by force and stand in front of a mirror and tell yourself, I am enough just as I am. I am enough just as I am. Enough is enough of thinking that you have to do a lot of things to become worthy. But because you exist, you're already worthy. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of the good things of life. You're worthy of amazing. No matter what mistakes you've made, you are worthy. You are still worthy. So I just want that to register in your brain. I want that to register in your mind. I want you to always remember that I am enough just as I am. I am enough just as I am. I am enough just as I am. Never forget that. If that's the only thing you take away from today's life, I am fulfilled. I'm grateful. I'm happy already. Because I want you to always remember, no matter how difficult it is, no matter what you're going through, no matter what that inner voice tells you, just say it. I am enough, just as I am. All right? So, I'm talking about inner critics. I'm sure what people will be wondering, why is she talking about inner critics? What's it about? See, self-criticism is an act. Something that we do, whether consciously or unconsciously, right? We point out our perceived flaws. So you see what I'm saying? Perceived flaws. So it is your perception. The other time I was talking about sanguines, melancholy, and, choleric, and different, personality temperaments, right? The truth is that some people will perceive their wrong as, oh, I'm human. And they'll move on. People that are sanguine, they just move on and, they're able to forgive themselves and move on. But people that are melancholy will sit on it, will internalize it, will overanalyze, ruminate on these things and sit on that, what they've done that is wrong. And that's one of the reasons why they criticize themselves so much. And as much as they criticize themselves, they criticize others as well. So this is why I've defined self-criticism as is an act of you, pointing out your perceived wrong. It is your perception. And it's okay to self-reflect, right? Because how do you improve if you don't sit down and work and improve on yourself and think about the things you've done? So it's okay. I'm not saying don't self-reflect, don't reflect on things, and don't improve. Sorry about that. So I'm not saying don't self-reflect or, think about things and improve. What I'm saying is that when you do that in a very harsh and judgmental way, then you are being too critical of yourself. That is your inner critic that is working against you. Because of course you are human and it's okay to make mistakes. You are human and it's okay not to be perfect. As long as you are working towards becoming better, that's fine. But the truth is that sometimes we sit down there and we continue to beat ourselves up because we are unable to meet up with the standards that we have set for ourselves. And that in itself can be limiting. It will limit you from getting to the highest version of yourself, from getting to becoming the best person that you should be in life. And that has been found to cause a lot of mental health issues like depression, anxiety, burnout, and all of those mental illnesses. So why should we wait till we get to a point where we develop these illnesses? Why can't we start tackling that now? Remember, I started this by saying, I am enough just as I am. Sometimes you have to just take charge. You have to tell yourself from time to time, especially when you realize that you're in a situation that is very distressing. You are so anxious and maybe you've not been able to meet some deadlines. You've not been able to achieve things you want to. Perhaps you've made a mistake. You need to remind yourself in a gentle way that I am enough. Even though I'm not getting headway with this. I'm not making headway with this. I am enough. I am enough. I'm going to be gentle with myself. Okay? So inner critic is that internal still small voice that shames you, that judges you, that limits you. That still small voice in your head that tells you who. In your family, there's no one that has ever become a graduate, or there's no one that has ever been successful. So what are you saying? Why are you trying? That's how your dad did it now. Did he pass or did he become successful? That inner voice that keeps reminding you of your past, telling you, oh, you did this. So there's no way you can make a headway. So these are the inner critics. And the truth is you brought this on yourself. You are the one allowing the inner critic to grow. The still small voice keeps expanding because you allow it. You reflect on it. You continue to ruminate on it. So you sit down with it. And the more you listen to it, the more the voice intensifies. The more frequent you hear the voice. The more frequent you hear the voice, the louder the voice becomes. And the more difficult it is for you to ignore what the voice tells you. It shames you, it judges you, and it also, limits you because, like I said, you can never rise above the level of your mindset. So if that voice keeps telling you that you can never be good enough, you're not good enough, you can never be anything in life, and you accept or you believe that, then trust me, there's no way you'll be. There's no way. It's not possible. Okay? So that's why it's important for you to follow me till the end of this. So I can teach you how to silence this voice. How to silence your inner critics. Once you can overcome inner critics, believe me not, the truth is nobody, I repeat, no external voice can overpower you. Once that inner voice is silenced, no external voice can overpower you. That's just the truth. Because once you have that strength, that resilience, that power from within, once you are able to pick up yourself and say, no, it is me against the world, there's nothing they can do from outside that would affect you. Because you have all the grit, all the resilience, all the power, all the strength that you need to fight. But once you are defeated from within, trust me, there's nothing. It's gone. You've lost the battle. That's just it. All right? And honestly, it's not your fault. It's not totally your fault. Because sometimes some of these things arise from when you were much younger. the way you were brought up, upbringing, childhood experiences, the way you were raised, whether you were raised by a parent that is very critical. All of these things, some children will internalize this and it will form their core belief. Excuse me. And that will go on and on. Once they become an adult, you start to reflect the same thing, the same experiences. Once you encounter a challenge, it reminds you of how you were raised, the things that were said to you when you were a child, and you start to repeat the same thing. The voice will start to remind you, this is what your mother said, this is what your dad says, this is what that uncle said, that aunt said. So, but unfortunately, you did not choose the family you were born to. You did not choose the parents that raised you. You didn't choose the environment you came from. But you can choose how you want to live your life from now onward. It is your responsibility to take charge of your life from now till, the next couple of years. See, the reason why your mom raised you or your dad raised you the way they did is because of how their own parents raised them. So the cycle might continue if you won't be the one to break that cycle of generational trauma. The cycle will continue if you don't choose to break it and say, no, it ends from me. I will be the one to stop this. I will not let those negative words, these words that have been told to me, these words that I heard, that I heard over and over again, that has now formed my own belief. I'm not going to let it affect me. I am going to change the narrative. It is your responsibility. Otherwise, the same thing would be transferred from yourself to your own offspring. And then it continues. All right? So it's not your parents' fault. Perhaps your parents raised them the way they raised you. And if you don't do something to you, you're going to raise your kids just the way you were raised. And that will go on. So like I said, the inner critic did not necessarily come from you. It's just how you were raised. The childhood experiences you had, perhaps you were bullied, perhaps your parents compared you to a lot of kids around to say, oh, didn't you see Lagbaja? Can't you see how Lagbaja is thriving? Can't you be like, and then you don't internalize, like, I'm not good enough, so I have to just be like this and that. You set standards that are so high, forgetting that you are human, not even accepting that you have flaws, you have weaknesses, you have strengths and you have weaknesses, but you keep comparing and wishing you were someone else. These inner critics keep telling you that you are not good enough. Okay? So, and like I said, when all of these things, come together, your upbringing, societal expectations of you giving yourself high expectations, and when you don't meet up with those expectations, you then feel, I don't think I'm good enough. It affects your mental health. It causes depression, causes anxiety, burnout, causes low self-esteem, impostor syndrome. I can go on and on. People pleasing, because you just want to be good enough. I am not good enough. That's what the inner critic tells you. And then you want to be good enough. So you try to please people because you want them to validate you. You can't validate yourself. So you need external validation to survive. So you then go above and beyond to please people. That is exactly why you are pleasing people. That is exactly why you don't have boundaries set. That is exactly why you are overstretching yourself, just because of this inner critics telling you that you are not good enough. But I need you to know, if there's only one thing you take away from here, I need you to know that you are good enough just the way you are. You don't have to do anything. You are good enough. God has created you good. And he said, you are very good. Created everything, but said when he created man, he said, you are very good. Never ever undermine your abilities. Never ever feel less of yourself. All right? You are very good enough. Yeah. So now I'm going to go to the ABC of how to silence your inner. I've made it. I try to, use acronyms. I'm a doctor now, so we are used to using acronyms and all of those things so that we don't forget. So I need you to pay attention to this ABC of how to overcome inner critics. Lola said, right, I tend to people please because I think I don't fit anywhere. Exactly. Lola, you said it. That's exactly what a lot of people are going through. So in order to have that sense of belonging, you want to please people so that they can accept you into their circle. By the end of the day, it won't happen because people will always be people. They will hurt you. They will offend you. They will upset you. What then happens? You get to that. No, they now become, they have control over you because once you please them, then they validate you. But what if they have their own challenges? What if they're tired of your presence and they stop validating you? Then that affects your own emotions, your feelings. You start to feel bad. Oh, this person has stopped, calling me, or this person has stopped listening to me. Oh, this person didn't even invite me. And then you make a lot of assumptions from so many things that could affect your mental health, can lead to depression, low self-esteem. You can't even make decisions on your own just because of this issue. So this is the time for you to take your power back by working on your inner self. You need to silence that inner critics. You have to do that right from now henceforth. That's how you take your power back. All right? So this is the ABC of how to silence your inner critics. The first one, the first letter A, is awareness. Letter A is awareness. You have to become more self-aware. You have to know what is happening to you. You have to bring it to the fore. You have to be able to understand that this is happening to me. The first step to freedom is becoming aware of the voice. Some people are in denial. They are just living their life. They are living life on autopilot. They don't even know that anything is happening to them. But you need to know what the triggers are. Why you act the way you do. Why am I feeling sad? Why I was happy and in the next, after like 5 to 10 minutes, I started feeling sad. Or I started experiencing, palpitations. You have a lot of physical symptoms. Why? You need to be able to know why this has happened to you. So anytime you feel distressed or anxious, pause and ask yourself, why is this happening to me? What is this telling me? Anytime you feel anxious, distressed, overwhelmed, pause. Ask yourself, why is this happening to me? What is this telling me? So nothing just happens. You have to become aware and know that the reason why you're feeling sad is because of this. It could be that, I'm stressed. I'm not eating breakfast. This is it. Whatever it is, you need to know. Okay? So the first step is awareness. You have to name the thought without judgment. You have to know. So it might just be, I've said it, that your thinking, your thoughts affect the way you feel, and your feelings the way you behave. So whatever behavior you experience, whatever feeling you experience, there's always a thought behind it. Never forget that. There's always a thought behind it. So immediately you have that feeling, you have to be able to trace it back to the thought. Why did I feel this way? So say, for instance, you started feeling sad out of the blues. Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling sad? You have to go back to your thoughts. What did I, try to reflect on how your day has been. Take 5 to 10 minutes me time and think of how your day has been, what caused the emotions, and then write down the thought. Name the thought without judgment. It could be, I've not been able to achieve all my deadline this week. Oh God, I'm too lazy. So it might just be that I'm too lazy, just based on not being able to achieve certain things. Is what has caused the low mood and all of those things. So you just need to trace it back and know what has happened to you. It's very, very important. And that's why I can never overemphasize the importance of having journals. I always go around with my journals. Of course, I have my notepad as well on my phone. And I take note of what I'm thinking about. Awareness, the first step towards overcoming or recovery from your inner critics, or silencing your inner critic, is to become aware of what you're thinking about. Does that make sense? If it's making sense, let me know. Let me know. I have 2 more to go. So it is ABC of silencing your inner critics. I have 2 more to go, guys. So if it's making sense, let me know. And if you have any questions, please drop your questions. Drop your questions. Okay. So the second thing that you need to do, the B of the ABC, is boundaries. What did I say? Boundaries. Thank you so much, Lola. B is boundaries. So I know that we always talk about boundaries between yourself and another person, but you can also have boundaries between the way you think. You can have boundaries between what you are saying. So I can choose to unfollow people because I know I don't want to see whatever it is they are sharing. So boundaries is not about it's not limited to just one person to another person relationship. It also has something to do with what you choose to think about. So you have to have mental boundaries and say no. So once that thought comes to your mind, you tell yourself, no, not today, not me, not today, no. You say that. So you have to create a mental stop sign, and immediately, I started from awareness. Thank you, Lola, for writing that. I started from awareness. So you're already aware that these are the kind of thoughts that come to your mind. Immediately that thought comes, you say, but not today. Odechi, tell yourself, it's not for me today. Because not all your thoughts are true. Your thoughts aren't always true. So you have to be able to say, no, I'm not going to reflect on this. I'm not going to ruminate on this today. Because you know that that's the beginning of inner critics. It's taking you to where you don't want to go to. So you stop it immediately. Second point is boundaries. So you tell yourself, that is not helpful. I will stop and choose a different thought. You tell yourself, so immediately that thought comes, this is not helpful. I will stop and choose a different. Say, for instance, because your boss had told you, oh, what you did, presentation was a mess. You didn't do well. Presentation was just so tacky and all of that. Said so many things to you about what you have done or how you looked or how you appeared. And then you internalize, that's the person. I always tell people, whatever someone has said to you is as a result of who they are. It has nothing to do with you. Even if you're wrong, whatever it is, how they give their feedback to you, it's as a result of who they are. So if their feedback is coming from a point of, a place of judgment and, being harsh, it says a lot about them. It has nothing to do with you. So don't internalize it. Learn to separate who you are from what you've done. Learn to separate that. So immediately you have those thoughts coming and maybe your boss has said something about you that you didn't like. Just tell yourself, no, I'm not going to go there. He has said that and that's it. That's the end. It ends at work. I'm not taking this home. So you just separate it. All right. So that's the second step towards silencing your inner critics. Boundaries. That's B. And then the final one is C. And that's compassion. Compassion, guys. Compassion. We need to be kind to ourselves. We need to be kind to ourselves. So sometimes you have to imagine yourself as a friend and imagine how you would treat a friend in that similar situation you found yourself. How would I treat my friend? And then you do the same to yourself. Honestly, sometimes we are too hard on ourselves. We don't give ourselves a break at all. We don't give ourselves enough grace. So sometimes you have to understand that you are human and it's okay for you to make mistakes. So you have to give yourself grace and be kind to yourself. Just understand that you don't grow through shame. You grow through grace. Understand that you don't grow through shame. You grow through grace. So give yourself grace, ample grace, and be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself when you make mistakes because it's okay. It just means that you are human. So I always tell myself that I am enough. I know I've made a mistake and it's okay. I forgive myself. I learn from this. I embrace myself. I forgive. It's enough for you to make mistakes. it's another thing for you to now beat yourself up. You already made that mistake. There probably will be consequences of that action. But you not giving yourself mental torture on top of that. Haba. We need to stop doing this to ourselves. Because the truth is that once you start being critical of yourself when you make mistakes, once you're not showing yourself enough kindness when you make mistakes, it affects everything in your system. There's a lot of cortisol, which is stress hormone, that is released when you become too critical of yourself. So it causes a lot of emotional dysregulation. And there's no way, absolutely no way, you can sit down and be able to think and look for way forward. You would sit down there and continue to blame yourself. So there's a difference between being guilty and shaming yourself. So if you feel guilty, it's about the action, what you did that was wrong. But if you shame yourself, you are talking about your personality. And that has got nothing to do with what you've done wrong. Your person is your person. Like I said before, I am enough just as I am. You are enough just the way you are. So once you understand that that is who you are, you have to separate what you've done from who you are. That's the only way for you to move forward. That's the only way for you to progress. That's the only way for you to silence your inner critics. Otherwise, you internalize your actions and you start to say, this is me. Oh, I failed. That means I am a failure. Oh, I messed up. That means I'm a mess. But there's a difference between you being a failure and you failed. You failed in that instant. Doesn't mean that you're a failure. You can't overgeneralize your circumstances. So I hope this is clear. I hope this has helped us. The 3 ABCs that I have mentioned on how to silence your inner critics is number 1, A. Oh, I'm breaking up. Really? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So I'm just going to summarize. So what I said is the 3 ABCs on how to silence your inner critics is number 1. A is awareness, become aware of those thoughts. The B is boundaries, create a mental stop sign of the thoughts you don't want and make sure that you say no to it. And then C is compassion. You have to become more kind and compassionate to yourself. All right. So do you have questions? Do we have questions? Do we have questions? Can you all hear me? I just need to be sure that you've heard all I've said because I never knew that I was breaking up until Kemi told me. Any questions? Questions, guys. Okay, I think I'm just going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining my live session. I hope this has helped someone today. I just want to say that if you need my help in any way, do not hesitate to reach out. Come to my DM, go to our website. I offer therapy sessions, therapeutic coaching services. And also, I also want to say that you don't have to always be perfect. Never forget that. You just have to continue to show up. When I mean show up, I mean continue to push, continue to move forward, continue to work towards becoming the highest version of you. Continue to achieve and, pursue your dream. But perfection is what you should never think of, because your inner critics will tell you you are not good enough because you want to aim at perfection. But the truth is, you can never be good enough. If you get what I mean, like you can never achieve perfection. So that's why I've told you that you are okay the way you are. Just the way you are right now is okay. Just never give up on you. Keep showing up, keep pushing, keep pursuing your dream, and keep being intentional about your mental health. All right, thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic week. Until I see you in my next live session, take care of you and be intentional about your mental health. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye.